Hey people, Infiltrated 53 Faction War. This is SDL Province and Eldar versus Chaos Space Marines. So the blue Eldar team, Blank is a Eldar Farseer support hero fighting in melee combat, some powerful buffs and control. Alongside Sir Dauk, I'm going to say, with a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat by default, great for capping and harassing with some powerful control. Exarch's elite scheme here. Rounding off the blue Eldar fellas, I'm tilted with a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat, some powerful disruption and support. I believe this is also the Exarch's elite scheme, but it's been recolored. Looking pretty good. Red Chaos fellas, Leonus with a Plague Champion starts off with a damage over time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some strong utility and support, can also repair. Looking dashing in his bright Slaneshi purple type situation. Alongside the Tenso with a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. And rounding off the teams, Tankadaire with a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero with two objects that cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption, fighting in melee, just cancelling that power cap there up against a Warlock on the eastern edge. What's going on western side though? Farseer against Plague Champion, CSM drop a model, barely two of them getting into the garrison there. We have a grenade on the way. We do. Battle equipment coming up for these Guardian fellas. Banshees in retreat. Only dropped one model. That's a good trade. Killing a CSM model and losing a single Banshee. But now they're losing Guardians. There's a grenade. Is that going to wipe them out? It takes another one. Need to run, fellas. Wow. Rough fight for Leonus. Where are the heretics? They were forced off early, I guess. Back towards the mid. A 2v2 fight, I think. Howling Banshees of Leonus on some CSM. Heretics dying in droves while exploding themselves as well. 4 of them still remain. Banshees get away with 3 models. Warlock's a bit low here. Heretics can't get him on retreat though. Already the Sword of Flame up for the Chaos Sorcerer. Banshees chopping up Heretics on retreat. How are they alive? 6 hit points on 2 models there. Banshees are vicious early on. Aspect of strength up for these ladies. Those power melee weapons chopping through the heavily armored Chaos Space Marines with a 30% damage bonus versus heavy armor. So dangerous early. Can really mess up a low-level hero as well. Chaos Lord is back out. You've got some grenade launcher heretics as well for Tankadaire. Tankadaire seems like a name from the past that I haven't seen for a while or something. I kind of recognize it vaguely. Maybe they played years ago and are back or something. Or maybe I'm just mental. Heretics there getting an aspiring champion for the Tenso. Still got CSM. I don't think these... Oh, these players... I think they did drop on one of those guys. Leonus with double Chaos Space Marines now. And they're grabbing the Western VP. So they lost quite a few heretics here. Now they have an aspiring champion though. Turns them into a detector unit. And gives them a decent melee combatant in amongst those heretics. He's a Chaos Astartes with bolt pistol and chainsword. Increases the health of the other heretics as well. Just emboldens them in the eyes of the Chaos Gods, I guess. Gives them some more vitality. Shuriken Cannon on the field for Blank. Decent early synergy with the Farseer, of course, because you can throw Guide on it for extra range and extra damage. We've got Rangers up for Sir Dauk. Sniper infantry with some good utility. Can disrupt from long range and infiltrate their allies. Might get caught here. Seems they're going to get away with it. Sorcerer is in amongst some Guardians with the Sword of Flame, which is pretty painful for light infantry early on. Doing damage over time. Also gives them the Coruscating Flame. Looks like he teleported in and put it on himself. Teleporting thanks to the vestments of the warp. There it is. Coruscating Flame on the Sorcerer. So he's passively damaging nearby enemies. But Banshees are on them. Remember what I said about Banshees being a big threat to early low-level heroes, especially. Sorcerer did get away though. Got a pretty short cooldown on the vestments of the warp teleport. Makes him quite energy intensive, of course. He always is, pretty much. Heretics trying to get around the Shuriken. Couldn't quite get it done. But Leonus did get a generator down. Banshees are in. Have they got fetid armor up or something? They haven't. The only tool they have, really, to stop the Banshees is the Heretics Doom Blast, or sheer weight of fire, I guess. But they didn't want to stop there because the Farseer would have tied one of them up. Now the Banshees are in. Spirit Stones heal as well from the Farseer. The spiritual rites. So we might be seeing Fetid Armor to help control the movement of those Banshees. No, we're seeing Raptors right now. Guardians will take the Western contested VP and straight on the power then with the Banshees. Doombolts though from way downtown thanks to the Sorcerer. Some decent hits. Double Heretics with Aspiring Champions as well. And Eternal War up for the Chaos Space Marines. Here are the Raptors of Leonus. Dumped quite a lot of power into those guys. Only 35 power these days, I think. Oh, 45, I believe. So no Eternal War for the Chaos Space Marines. Spent it on the Heretic Aspiring Champion and those Raptors. Farseer with the Doombringer now. That could be really nasty if they can get Doom up on the Raptors and Guide on the Banshees and throw them in there. Well, she can't do that if she's on the floor, bleeding profusely, thanks to the Sorcerer and some Chaos Space Marines. Here's a little bit of a flank from... Oh, I'm tilted coming all the way over here. And joining in now, Sir Dauk. Big fight in the mid. Can they get the Shuriken? They can. Sorcerer doing work. Raptors taking a whole bunch of damage. I'm going to check on the Warp Spider Exarch in a second to see if they have any war gear. Heretics getting away. They're on fire. Coruscating Flame was on them. Those Banshees are going to wipe. Indeed they do. Those were Sir Dauk's, I think. Yep. No idea how I meant to say that name. So that's what I'm going for. 427 to 440. The Warp Spider Exarch does have heavy gauge. Death Spinner was probably used in that last fight. I just didn't see it. But it's hard to see all the things that are happening. Who's dead? Old Plague Champion went down as well. Not sure what happened there. Maybe he got caught off guard by the Shuriken. Warp Spider Exarch getting quite low, going for a revive for the Farseer on the west side. He's already in level 2 this far. He's done some work. Here's the Chaos Lord. What you got going on, buddy? Harness of Rage and the Dark Halo. Dark Halo is a shield he can put up, preventing him from losing health as long as they have energy to power the shield. And Harness of Rage gives energy back to the Chaos Lord as well as nearby allies, so you can support your Raptors with that. Does it work on... Yeah, it says your own squads quite specifically there, so you can't help out an allied Sorcerer with it. A bunch of the Chaos stuff is quite selfish. I guess the Shrine, the Nurgle Shrine is the exception, because that will heal and reinforce allies. But the other shrines don't buff allies, I don't think. It's only your own stuff. 408 to 427. It does weaken them slightly in a faction war scenario, but they got other things going for them. Lots of upfront damage and brute force. And I kind of like the selfish chaos design philosophy going on. Heretics there can absolutely destroy. Down they go. Those were Leonuses, and they did have an Aspiring Champion. Raptors jumping into trouble. Banshees are right there with an Exarch queued up. They do have aspect of fleetness, so she'll get the mirror power swords on the way now that they hit tier 2. Everyone is tier 2. The Tenso's got bloodletters up. Demons with power melee Hellblaze that can teleport and phase out of existence, which is handy. Falcon on the way for Sir Dauk. And Eldar will get back the west side. CSM being chased back into the garrison. Still don't have Eternal War. These guys do though for Tenso. Uh-oh, Autarch dropping in with those stunning and damaging grenades, and it was enough to finish off those Chaos Space Marines. That was painful. And now they jump in to heal the Banshees and buff them. Buffs their damage, I think, and their damage resistance passively by just being nearby. You see that their arms are glowing? That's the buff from when she landed in. Now it's gone. Not sure how much of a buff it is. Well, I believe this passive one here is like 15%, which is not bad. And stacked with the Seer Council and Avatar buffs and stuff. So you get those really nasty late game Eldar melee blobs that are really fun to see. Rare to see, but fun to see. Beautifully done. Kinetic pulse into a grenade there by Sir Dauk. Nicely executed. Here's the Falcon. Decent damage to all targets on this thing, and provides reinforcement and transport capabilities in the field. Oh, well played by the Tenso. Just used Warp to get the Plague Marines right to the Sorcerer's location. Now getting a couple of shots on the Falcon. Warp Spider Exarch trying to tie them up in melee. Gets another shot maybe. They did, but they weren't quite in range to direct it out the Falcon. Now they're being chased by Banshees. You see the red debuff circles on the Banshees. That's got to get in too close to the Plague Marines, which slow you down just for being close to them. And they will explode on death, so they typically decent at deterring melee combatants. Sorcerer flees. I thought maybe they'd follow through onto the VP there. What is this? It's a Chaos Dreadnought for Leonus. Bashing power. It's very far forward, and Eldar can be on you in a flash with anti-vehicle warp, spider, haywire grenades and stuff, and fire dragons. But they get away safely, and got a bit of XP for the Dreadnought doing that. Here's the Autarch, has her spear. A power melee executioner. Fire dragons are indeed on the way for Sir Dauk, and they have Dark Creepers with their Exarch on the way immediately. Tier 3 for I'm Tilted though. What's this? It's a whole bunch of chaos stuff bashing this power node. Got some Mark of Khorne Chaos Fellas for Tankadaire, and they have their own Dreadnought going for Mark of Tzeentch. What about you, Mr. Chaos Lord? No weapon war gear for this fella yet. The Warlock has Immolator. That's good for messing up these grenade launcher heretics while they stand around with their grenade launchers shooting stuff. Dreadnought chasing down the Falcon. Raptors are out of energy. They can't jump. They do have their Aspiring Champion with that heavy melee maul. They could get onto the rear armor maybe, but they can't jump right now. And Bright Lance all of a sudden. Dreadnought's gone way deep into Eldar territory to try and get that done. Now Fire Dragons on it. Sorcerer is here to tie them up just in time. Dreadnought itself has a pretty nasty melee attack even with the autocannon. Doom is up on it though, thanks to the Farseer's Doombringer. 30% more damage on the Dreadnought, but it gets away. Bloodletter's helping out. Can they get away? The Sorcerer's going to be fine, I think, but I don't know if the Bloodletters are. Bloodletter's white. Those were the Tenso's Bloodletters. Can they at least get the Dreadnought to safety? I think they can. Circle of Summoning from the Sorcerer there, from his global bar, using his red resource. Still got enough for a warp. I think you always want to keep enough red for a warp in your back pocket as a Sorcerer if you can. Banshees chasing the Dreadnought. They don't have the heavy melee spear though, so they're not a massive threat to it. Dealt with thanks to some disruptive grenades from Tankadaire. Here's that Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought with the missile launcher. Great versus vehicles and large targets. Can also do a frenzied barrage thing to suppress infantry, which is handy. Chaos Sword throws up the Dark Halo to close the distance here and gets in on the Rangers. Maybe they'll get the Lightning Claws later if we see some Farseer Council and things. Also helps because of the really fast attack speed. Gives you a ton of energy. West side, what's going on? Heretics capping the west side for the red Chaos team. VP's quite even here. Tier 3s now for Leonus and the Tenso. Another weapon team for Sir Dauk. Perhaps another Bright Lance. Slaughter popped on those Chaos Space Marines. That's an ability given to them by their Aspiring Champion. Allows them to shoot without cooldown using their bolters, or draw melee weapons to get into some fisticuffs with some health regen and stuff, and actually some really good melee DPS. They can hold their own quite well when Slaughter is active in melee. Chaos Space Marines with the power melee chain axes, putting some pressure on the Warlock, but they run into too much trouble there and have to retreat. Fire Prism on the field now for I Am Tilted. That awesome disruptive shot. These things can be like paper though. 500 hit points, need to be careful. And Plague Marines are on the prowl. Need to keep them at maximum range. I don't think they've seen the Plague Marines until it's too late. They're going to get at least one shot. There it is. Needs to try and make sure this thing does not turn around. A rear armor hit is devastating for a Fire Prism. Looks like they have kept it facing the right way. There is no reverse button, unfortunately, in Dawn of War 2. Just need to make small movements while refacing the vehicle each time to try and keep it facing the correct way. Warp Spider Exarch with another revive. Also has enhanced warp jump generator for group teleport and improved targeters. Raptors in trouble, getting heavy gauged with Banshees on them and an Autarch on them. Ouch. The Tenso down to just 2 units, by the way. They're in tier 3 though. Are the Raptors going to be alright? They are. I wonder if they could have chased them down there. Maybe the Autarch couldn't jump again. 301 to 331 on the VPs. Landred of Phobos on the way for the Tenso. CSM getting chopped up on retreat. Eldar will retake the west side. Yeah, the Tenso had a rough time in the mid there a bit. Level 4 Sorcerer though. They've got time to recover, I think. Chaos Terminators on the field for Leonus. Called in from the global bar with Combi Bolters and Power Fists by default, but they have some good weapon options, those guys. They only come in with 3750 hit points though, which is quite low for a squad of Terminators. 292 to 327. Can worship them, of course. There's some noble worship to help out their health regen. Ouch. Dropped the Terminator model still, and they threw a Psychic Storm into base there with the Farseer and her rune armor. She's still here. Autarch might die if she's not careful. They got the Dreadnought. That's what they were trying to do. Falcon gets away clean. Farseer is still in play. Wants to finish off that power generator, but they couldn't quite manage it. Sorcerer, using Warp to get the Landred of Phobos right in on the action. Sorcerer goes down, but they should get revived quite easily. Can they get this Falcon? Plague Marines are right there. Shield is thrown up. Energy field, tier 3 upgrade for the Falcon. I think they can get it though. Yep, they got it. Falcon's down. The Fire Prism is still up for I'm Tilted. And Tilted now has Seer Council. And there they are. A squad of Warlocks with power melee damage and a passive damage resistance aura. Down goes the Phobos, yes. Was taken care of pretty quickly. We had crack shots up on the Guardian Weapon team with the Bright Lance there from the Warp Spiders global bar. That gives them extra range and damage. And I assume that stacks with Guide. So that could be nasty combo. Chaos Terminators now for the Tenso. The Marco Zinch Dreadnought still rocking. 292 to 272. Where is that? Oh, the Fire Prism's gone. They got the Fire Prism. Completely missed that. But they did get it somewhere. Was it over here? I bet it was on my screen and I didn't see it. I don't see the remains of a Fire Prism anywhere. So maybe it was on my screen during that passage of madness. Doom up on these Terminators here. 292 to 257. That was the Falcon. Right? Yes. Autarch runs. It's nice to see a level 3 Autarch. Usually they die pretty quickly. Does the Plague Champion have any war gear? No war gear for this guy. Got some Lightning Claw Terminators though. Here comes an Avatar for Blank. I wonder if they'll cancel that when they see these Lightning Claws, because they will tear through an Avatar pretty nicely. Dark Creepers doing their thing. Lots of damage for those Terminators to contend with the Inferno PvP damage. And there's crack shot again from Sir Dauk's global bar. Liberal usage of it so far. Maybe slightly underutilized in terms of global buffs, crack shot. Lightning Claw Terminators ripping through things. Couldn't quite finish off that guy though. Oh, they're teleporting for the finish. That could be risky. They got it. But are they now in trouble? There's Doom. And here's Seer Council. Touch of Nurgle on the Terminators. Now, Touch of Nurgle damage scales off the health of the model that explodes. So this should be a massive chunk of damage when these guys lose a model. There it is. Seer Council still with 3 models though. The demoralization on kill from the Terminators. Noxious Cloud thrown in as well. These are all global abilities of the Plague Champion. Another Terminator falls. It's expensive. They just spent like 300 red almost to try and save those guys. I was at Tenso warping it out. Yeah, Tenso got it to safety. 292 to 192. Leona's saying thanks. See, Chaos fellas can work together, damn it. And we do indeed have a Lightning Claw Chaos Lord. He's only level 2, but is a massive threat in melee now. Got those Chaos Terminators as well. Tankadaire has preserved their army really well, actually. They need to focus mid now, which I guess they are trying to do. Chaos Space Marines having to flee. They got a decap here. Terminators should have teleport in their back pocket to get away if they need to. Chaos Lord trying to run interference rather than go after the Warlock. Throws up the Dark Halo. What is he up to? I don't know. Oh, there's the Seer Council. Goes after him. Terminators are taking a healthy chunk of damage. Haven't dropped a model yet. Chaos Lord in trouble now. Yep. Goes down. Dreadnought is really far forward. Right Lance. Oh, with crack shot again. Look at that. With insane range. Now, Seer Council's power melee. I mean, it's a lot of power melee, so it will whittle down a vehicle, especially when they don't have melee resistance like this guy. Terminator trying to help out. Sorcerer coming in. Coruscating flame on those Terminators now. Maybe he should have just put it on himself. The Terminators are fleeing. Here's some Chaos Space Marines. It should be alright, I think, the Dreadnought. Dreadnought has turned to engage. Yeah, Seer Council have to run. Warlock now fully equipped with Providence and Warp Throw. I'm hearing Banshees yell. Is it over here? Maybe. Well-timed grenade barrage. Did they just knock over their own aspiring champion with that grenade barrage? Or was that a special attack? He gets a bolt gun these days, of course. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that. That fella with a bolt gun. Wailing Doom, Avatar. Oh, it's a good hit on those heretics. Almost wiped them. Land Raider Phobos here. Oh, the second one for the Tenso. Can the Chaos Space Marines start to stabilize on this west side now? They have two Terminator squads here and the Land Raider with some Chaos Space Marines, of course. Level 2 fellas. Here comes a Chaos Predator for Tankadaire. Eldar pushing mid though. Two of them here. Got some level 4 Guardians. Has Iron Tilted. And here's Sir Dauk's level 7 Warp Spider Exarch. He's done some work. Oh, did they take the Dreadnought out? They did get it. The Seer Council got it. Well done, fellas. Heavy gauge on the CSM. Ouch. Reaper barrage as well, and they're getting a cap on the VP. These Guardians being torn up by Chaos Terminators, though. Plague Marines can get the cap back, I guess. 289 to 151. D-cannon on the way for blank. All three Eldar players with the Seer Council. I mean, I have to assume that their auras don't stack with each other. Must be the case. West side is red for Chaos. Don't have this wreck point though. They did take out a webway over there. Who's this in the garrison? Just some Chaos Space Marine bozos. Yeah, it is. Plague Champion on repair duty with a Plague Fist and Armor of Pestilence on the way. And I'm gonna keep complaining about this Pestilence, Armor of Pestilence being nerfed. 500 hit points now only. Come on now. Get out of here with that. We've got a Chaos Predator with Mark of Nurgle being grenaded and shrugging it off with the health regen and extra health and all that good stuff. Providence up for the Warlock. Trying to use it to get the cap done. Not sure why those Chaos Terminators are leaving. I mean, Providence is still up. They can't damage him, I guess. Are they going to be able to get the cap? Providence has worn off. They got it. Well played. Iron Tilted. Need to get that back, fellas. 280 to 147. They're really having trouble through the mid here, the Chaos team now. Those guys are still not grabbing that wreck point on the west side. I really think they should. Oh, they found a webway that was being built there. Plague Champion now a really good capping unit with the Plague Fist. Pestilence Strike. I mean, is there another good use for it? You typically pretty much use it to cap. You can just like throw it down on your army to help them out in a fight, which is great, but I think you typically want to save it for those capping moments. And it's really good for that. Really good for that. Another webway goes down. Terminators can't get XP though. 274 to 139. They already know everything about being a Terminator. Kicking off on the west side, there's some Dark Flames from the Sorcerer. Phobos being repaired. Got a Nurgle Shrine back there as well, healing and reinforcing units, but just getting worshipped. Wailing Doom. Phobos kind of just takes it. Touch of Nurgle on the Terminators again. Oh, D-Cannon's getting shots on them. And there is a Dirge Caster, got a lot in that stun. Eldritch Storm coming in. Almost wiped out some Seer Council there, actually. Did it get them? Did it just wipe out some? I think it just wiped out tilted Seer Council, I think. It's tilted the white coloured player. No, they're red. I think their Seer Council might be white though. Phobos being hidden by some Tzeentchian worship. And a nuke back here from Tankadaire. Imperial Abyss. D-Cannon caught in there. Might go down if it's not careful. It's going to go down, I think. Oh, maybe not. Managed to stay away from that central circle of doom. Speaking of doom, Wailing Doom doing some work. Are they going to get on the Avatar? Not yet. Leonus lost their Terminators in that fight when they had Touch of Nurgle on them. 272 to 105. Another Nurgle Predator coming here. Nope. Going for Mark of Khorne now, the Tenso. Leonus might struggle to recover here. They have very little requisition. Decent requisition income, but they're spending it to reinforce right now. And Eldar with the 2-to-1. Might be tough for the Chaos fellas. Avatar getting some hits in on the Nurgle Pred. Done a lot of work, this Avatar. Huge amount of work. Soaked up massive amounts of damage. Lots of good disruption. And it's of course providing those awesome buffs to all nearby allied infantry. Gives them suppression immunity, a damage and a damage resistance buff, I think. It's a lot of stuff. Can they hold though, the Eldar? Where's the D-Cannon? It's in a good spot for a nice singularity. Double Dark Creepers for I'm Tilted, throwing huge damage on those Terminator fellas. Seer Council being healed. I'm not sure if they're going to try and pressure the tanks though. That guy just exploded. Right Lance getting shots on. Phobos getting low. Need some repair support over there from their allies, I think. Oh, Leonus is helping repair. Plague Champion has been repurchased. So that's where their requisition went. Meanwhile, in the mid, you have Sir Dauk with an Avatar of their own. Where is it? Oh, it's going west, I think. Get this cool scheme on the Avatar when you use Exarchites. Warlock with Providence up. They just power bashed, I guess that's good. Uh-oh. Double Bright Lance crossfire on the Phobos. And a double cap here for the Eldar. Red team might be able to get a 2-to-1 maybe. Ouch. Singularity says no. Big no on that. Heretic Aspiring Champion gets away with 3 hit points. Terminator's getting wrecked by the D-Cannon shots. And those Dark Creepers, of course. Avatar with a Wrath of Cain. Good hit. Sends the Plague Champion flying. Apparently it didn't suppress him. I thought that thing suppresses. 272 to 18 on the VPs. What is this? It's a Sorcerer going for the natural VP of Eldar. Fire Prism on the way for I'm Tilted. Oh, is that one of those healing webways? It is. The Warlock's webway can heal. Does it heal only your stuff or allies as well? It seems to be healing everything there. Single cap for the Chaos fellas. Thanks to Tenso. Now getting heavy gauged, but it doesn't stop him capping if you're close enough. Didn't quite get a cap, but the decap was great. Wailing Doom destroys the Nurgle Shrine. How dare they? Phobos just constantly getting repairs, but it's done well. Eldar, or they might get a 2-to-1 for victory here. I don't know if the Chaos fellas have any more huff in them to attack the west side. Those Terminators are going mid. They should be going west, I think. I don't think they can get here in time. But they might be able to get here in time. And where's the Plague Champion? Here he is. Needs to use that fist to try and cap, I think. Wailing Doom for the Chaos Space Marines. Just desperation trying to get a cat. There's another touch of Nurgle. Here comes the Plague Champion. Level 3 with the Fist and Pestilence. Needs to use Pestilence Strike. There it is. But they ran out of time, I think. It's going to be an Eldar victory. It is an Eldar victory. And they played it well. Great usage of the avatars. Massive amount of damage out of the Dark Creepers as well, I feel like. And the heroes were used really well as well. Level 9 Farseer. Lots of great crack shot usage by Sir Dauk. And that Warlock was a handful as well. They're all level 9. Yeah, they are. Awesome. Had Shimmer Orb at the end for the Warp Spider. Had a level 3 Plague Champion. A level 5 Chaos Sorcerer. Tenso had that rough fight. I think it was like the end of Tier 2, early Tier 3. And level 3 Chaos Lord. Tankadaire with 2 tanks at the end. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war for our amusement. These lobbies run by the main man, the Tenso. And I'll see you next time.